Today, we're talking about the 5 mistakes to avoid while trying to build wealth. And here's the thing. Most people will never build wealth. They'll never get financially free. They'll never get to position of freedom. Not because they're not giving it a shot, not because they're not trying, not because they don't give it the effort. But here's the thing. You keep making the same mistakes over and over and over. And here's the thing. If you're serious about this and you really want to get it financially, you need to stop doing these things. We're going to give you the 5, and you need to stop doing them immediately. And if you're not sure who I am, my name is Brian Lessinger, and I'm 54 years old, and I am financially free, and I have seen it all. I sit in living rooms with people, helping them buy and sell homes, and one of the biggest reasons why people get divorced is because of their money and finances. And here's the thing. People who I know that work hard, make good money, but they stay broke. And the reason that they do is because building wealth is something that has to be paid attention to, has to be something that has to be cared for, has to be something that you spend some time on. And it's a lot of times, sometimes about what you avoid. And trust me, these 5 mistakes, they are costing you time, money, freedom. They're costing you all of it. So you need to know these 5 things. You have to avoid them. And so we're going to talk about them right now. And number 1 is trying to get rich quick. This one makes me laugh all the time because everyone's trying to figure out whether it is crypto or what the next IPO big thing's coming on, or how to start some business that's going to make them tons and tons of money immediately, whether it's a lottery ticket, whether it's gambling, whatever it is. What could happen is, yes, somebody could get lucky and they could win big, but it also is high risk and can lead to huge losses. And this is where I see people start to struggle. Now, I talk about budgeting and a lot of stuff that I think people should be doing. And if you're someone who's doing an amazing job with your finances, you have some small percent, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5% of your income that you want to use to try to hit a home run, I'm all for if you want to try to hit a home run, but trying to get rich quick is hard. And you need to do a bunch of other things first, which would be play the long game, build on your skills, build on your education, find ways to be able to increase your income, let time, compounding, smart, basic, fundamental financial things win. And that trying to get rich quick is just going to be, it's just very difficult as far as that stuff. Just let it go if you can. It's just not a good way to win. So number 2 is spending everything you make. My strategy is this. If you have a budget in place, the first person you pay is yourself. So you move a percentage off the top into your saving and investing. Ideally, we've already got no debts paid off as far as that stuff goes. And here's the thing. The problem becomes is for many people, as they start to earn more and make more and combine incomes and all those kind of things, lifestyle creep comes in. And so then your expenses go up. And we all know lots of people, you see lots of videos these days about people making $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 saying they live paycheck to paycheck. And why is that? Boats, cars, RVs, vacations, fancy jewelry, eating out too much, designer clothes. All those things start to creep and creep and creep as you make more money because I deserve it, I want it, I need it. And it just isn't true. If you always spend every dollar you make, and if you're lucky and you only spend every dollar you make, you're not as bad off as some people that overspend. They spend 120, 150, 200% of their budget. That's how they end up with credit card debts and all kinds of bad loans because they're spending way above what they make, which is even worse than just spending everything you make. So you can't do that. What you need is to save and invest a piece of every time you get paid. And it needs to come off the top. It needs to happen automatically. And then you can live on the rest. So whatever you do, do not spend everything you make. Again, I wish I could get people just to spend everything they make. Some are even worse than that. Number 3, avoiding investing because they feel it's risky. And what's so funny is what's risky is not investing. What's risky is living way beyond your budget and your income so that eventually you might lose your house, lose your car, lose your relationship, lose your spouse because you've put yourself in such a bad financial situation that the stress and drama and all the headaches and anger that go in with being in a bad financial spot kill your relationship. So the real truth, honestly, is not investing is your biggest risk. You've got to do it. And if you don't understand how it works, so I think that's where people go is they just get scared and confused on how to do this. Reach out. We can walk you through the basics. You do not need some fancy financial planner. You do not need to do some exotic things. There's some basic fundamental things that you can be doing on a regular basis. Now, the next one is, of course, thinking that just because you have a high salary means you're wealthy. And yes, we can get you there if you make more money more quickly, more easily. Having a high salary is great. As long as you know it's going to be consistent, that it is a job that you know you're going to have for the long term. And again, putting the plans in place not to spend every dollar you make, but to then use that income wisely, especially if you're making a lot of money and you're young and you can pull a ton of it off the top and get in investments the sooner, the earlier, the better. Because I'm always talking about financial freedom, not retirement. And the more we get financially free, the less you have to worry about trading your time and energy and effort for money. You can find ways for your money to make money. And so again, just because you make a lot doesn't mean you'll have a lot. One of my best friends is a financial planner, knows lots of really wealthy people, and some of them are some of the most unhappy people we know. So again, it would be nice, but you got to figure out a way to keep some of your money. You got to figure out a way to grow your money. You got to figure out ways to create your asset base and more income streams long-term. So again, whether that is investing in the stock market, investing in real estate, investing in businesses, whatever it might be, there's a lot of different ways you can do that. So you have to figure out what your comfort level is, because not everybody and the way they want to invest their money is the same. So you just have to think about how you want to do that. And then the fifth mistake you want to try to avoid is waiting. So waiting too long to start. I wish, like, the only regret I have in my financials really in my life was I wish I would have done more of what I do now, a lot younger, a lot sooner, a lot earlier in my life, because the money that I do have, and I'm a multimillionaire already, would be so much greater and so much more. I probably would already be where I want to be, and I'll get there eventually and get there someday, because as your money starts to grow and compound, it's amazing how much more quickly those numbers grow as you get into your 40s, 50s, and 60s if you started early and you get up a big asset base, because it takes you a long time to go from 0 to $1 million, but to go from $1 million to 2 and 2 to 4 and 4 to 8, those take less time because now you have such a bigger pool of money that's turning over and doing all those things. So you don't want to wait too long. So let's rehash these 5 real quick. These are the 5 mistakes you want to absolutely avoid. 1, getting rich quick. It's hard, it's difficult, and a lot of people that do get rich quick also then turn out to get broke quick. Number 2, spending all the money you make. You don't want to do that. You want to not avoid investing because it feels risky. I think anyone who thinks investing is risky, maybe they had a bad investment, maybe an uncle or someone talked them into doing something they shouldn't have done. You got to get in investing, and we can have conversations about, what scares you about it, what makes the most sense for you, and what makes you comfortable doing it in long term, and how conservative or non-conservative you want to be. Next one is, just because you make a lot doesn't mean you're wealthy. You got to figure out ways to save and invest and build up that asset base long term. That's probably one of the biggest mistakes that I see on this list of things. And then, of course, number 5 is waiting too long to start. So those last 2, think because you make a lot, you're going to be wealthy, and waiting too long. The sooner, the earlier, the younger you can start, the better. So why does all this matter? So wealth isn't just about getting lucky, or just for the privilege, or just for people that inherit a lot of money. It's for those of you that start young, make the right choices, live within your means. And what's crazy is most of the people that are wealthy, you wouldn't even know, because they're not flashy, they're not showy. They're people that just live a certain way in order to give themselves that financial freedom that they have. And then, of course, if you do all the right things, then you can do some of those things later, and maybe stay in a fancier hotel when you travel, or sit in first class seats, or buy a nicer, car if that's something that you're into, or have a nicer, more upgraded, fancy house if that's something you want. But it's funny, if you do all the right things early on, I always say, if you do all the right things now, or if you live like no one else now, you'll get to live like no one else later and do those things. So if you have questions about all these things, by all means, please let us know. Drop me a comment, reach out with questions, DM me directly. We have lots of great videos in this channel, and I promise you, we'll walk you through all the steps on how to do all these things. If I can just get a big enough, base of people following up, we'll turn it into a course. I'll start you from day one. And again, we're trying to talk to young people about this, but again, younger people turn into older people, and happy to talk to anybody about these things. But I just want to be able to start from ground zero, walk you through the process, and figure out for you the best ways to get yourself in a great financial freedom position. So check out this video I did right here so you can learn more about money and finance, and go through the channel. There's lots of great content and information on here, and reach out if you have any questions.